So far, we've gotten the main load-bearing walls of our tiny home design put in, as well as having a floor, a roof, and just kind of editing and modifying some of the properties of the various elements to make it look like how we want. Here, we're going to go ahead and move forward by moving to a floor plan. So here I'm going to move to a one floor plan. Here you can tell that depending upon your level of detail, so down here on the bottom, you'll see if you're running with coarse, you may see there's not as much detail on the walls. If I select fine, you'll see there's a little bit more layers, especially as you zoom in, you'll see the layers of the wall show up. But the main thing is why we kind of point that out, is that we are going to add some interior walls into our tiny home. So just to kind of demo how to do that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to run with the wall command. And with the wall command, you can set up some different ways to be able to draw these particular walls. First off, you might want to start off with the type. A generic 6-inch is pretty there, but here we've got some different ones like interior 4.5-inch partition wall. Usually what that means is it's got gypsum wallboard on each side or drywall on each side, and it's just framed up with a lot of times a 2x4 framing. So that really is about all we need. So notice how they also have a 4 3/4, and they have a 1 hour. So that's actually the burn rate. That takes like kind of the how long it takes to be able to burn through the wall. So that's kind of what you have going on. So we really don't want exterior walls. We want these more interior walls for our particular application. So I'm going to go ahead and select the 4.5-inch partition. And either one of two things. Either you can see up here at the top and below your ribbon, you can set what height. Do you want it to be unconnected? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set it to 8 feet if it doesn't have it set there already. And then we're going to do by wall center line. Now you can change other different ways, like by the finish face, like it draws that in. I usually do wall center line, and then you can always kind of modify and change it where you need. Same thing, chaining. So let's say we want to create a small room here, and you'll notice I'm just going to put my cursor kind of in the middle. You get this blue dashed line, tracking line that shows when you're right in the middle of it. And when I click, I can then notice that I can see a dimension pop up. So maybe I want to go about 5'7", and then click, and then I'm going to go up here and I'm going to connect here, make this little kind of corner room as we kind of set that up. Now, one of the things that I can do, if I go ahead and hit cancel a couple times to stop drawing walls, once I have that command canceled, I can select a wall and I can even change the values as far as this goes. Now you're going to see some of the line work on this on the floor kind of gets in the way. So I'm actually going to go over here and select under the visibility graphics in the properties palette, edit. And I'm actually going to scroll down until I find floors. And I'm actually going to hide the floor in this view. So I'm going to uncheck. And I'm just going to go ahead and hit apply. And you're going to see that pattern goes away. And I'm going to select OK. So that way it kind of, it just hides the floor in this view. It doesn't delete it, but it just gets rid of that floor pattern. I think it can get a little busy and it gets a little bit kind of distracting. So here, now when I select the wall, I can see my numbers a little bit clearly. If I need to move a wall, like for example, if I don't want this to be 11.5, first off, I can edit my witness lines by clicking. So maybe I want the face of this wall to be maybe right at 11 feet. So if I type 11 and hit enter, notice how the wall moves closer. And if you want it to be further away, then obviously, from where this is measuring to, you can do that. Again, watch where you're going to right now. This is to the center line. So this is going to the inside edge. So now you'll see that when I change that, that dimension is different. So you do have to watch those witness lines. So I'm going to go ahead and hit 11 and then set that in there. Don't have to do this. It's just an example. And so that's kind of what's going on here. You can place these walls wherever you like. And as you kind of set those up. So maybe we want this to be an even 6 feet. And we just have like a little room in here, maybe a small toilet room or something like that. And have a sink and maybe even a shower. But you'll set this up on how you want to arrange it. And that's kind of adding interior walls. If we go to our 3D view, we'll see, we don't really see a whole lot happen. If I select my roof, you can kind of see through the roof there, you can see the walls. One thing that we can do is either you can have the walls just go up to the 8-foot mark, and that would be good. One thing that I will do is I'm going to rotate down just a little bit. Let's just hide this front wall again. And I'm actually going to select it, and I'm going to use the little pair of eyeglasses, which is called the temporary hide and isolate. And I want to select hide element. You'll notice you get this teal kind of outline on your screen. So if I rotate in, I can kind of see my walls, and I can see that, hey, I've got, they just kind of stop right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to select these two walls. I'm going to hold Control to select both. I'm going to go up here and say Attach, and then Attach Top. And then I'm going to select, make sure that I have my roof highlight, and then I'm going to click the roof. And I can actually have it where those walls go up and meet the bottom of the roof line if I would like. So that's kind of interesting to create like a almost like a vaulted ceiling. So you'll see here, you'll see the walls, how they go up and meet that roof line. So if I don't want that to be the case, so let me zoom out here just a little bit. I can just go back and select the two walls again. Select Detach top / base, and then select the roof again, and that will detach them from the roof. So just showing you a few options as far as what you can do. As far as whether you attach or don't attach, that's fine. But the best part is about using the temporary height isolate. Once I select the eyeglasses again and I can say reset, it'll actually bring that wall back, and I don't have to actually go in and try to hunt it down in the hidden elements, kind of toggled view. So have some fun, add some different walls in there. So one thing, think about your spacing. So as I go to the floor plan, and here in a moment, we're going to look at adding some doors and windows as well as some components to be able to start looking. And you might have to move some walls around even as you kind of plan out your space. So, but try to come up with a really neat, interesting design. If you need to, look out online and get some ideas. So take a look at the next video for more.